thinking about installing a well water system on your property? There are a few things you need to know first. Here to walk us through the steps is Derek Hunt, Environmental Health Supervisor with the Chesapeake Health Department. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So what does the well application process look like?
So it's a pretty simple process. The citizen will go out and find a licensed private sector well driller or well driller. From there, they'll go make a site visit. They'll take measurements of the system and determine where the best location to install the well is. From there, they will fill out an application, provide the design, and then pay any applicable fees to the local health department. And then from there, we will do our review, determine that there are no potential contaminants in that area, and then we'll issue the permit from there.
And then they can drill, but not until you issue that
Absolutely.
permit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no drilling can occur until a permit has been issued.
So what are the different types of wells? I didn't know there was more than one, so
Yes,
curious.
so we do drinking water wells, irrigation wells, and geothermal wells, and that's for heating and cooling systems.
Interesting. So I have an irrigation well for my sprinkler system at home. Could I just drink that water?
No. So whatever the well is permitted for, that is the applicable use. So an irrigation well is not tested prior to any drilling or after any drilling, so we don't know what's inside that system.
Okay, so there's not a requirement for that, like say for instance, if I had it to actually cook with or drink water.
Correct.
That would be a whole nother level,
Yes.
so to speak.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
so you would advise someone not to drink that if it hasn't been tested
Correct.
or approved for that.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about the SWAP program.
So SWAP is a new program that the Virginia Department of Health just implemented, I believe, in January of this year. It is coming from ARPA funds, so the American Rescue Act. We were provided $11.5 million for the entire state. So what that program is to help low-income families replace any failing wells or any septic systems. So there are general requirements to meet, and it's about 200% at or above that 200% federal poverty level for those guidance. But they can reach out to the local health department. I'm the point of contact for that program, so they'll be working directly with me.
So someone was of a lower income, then they could reach out, say for instance, because that would be important. Drinking water, of course, it is for like drinking and cooking and things like that.
Yeah, so there are huge public health hazards.
Absolutely.
With no lack of water or filling systems.
So what type of testing is required and how frequent?
Okay, so for drinking waters, the only testing that is required by the Virginia Department of Health is a bacteriological test during the actual drilling process. So once the well is drilled, they get a water sample, send it out to a licensed, certified, accredited lab, and then from there, that's the only testing that is actually required. However, Chesapeake Health Department and the Virginia Department of Health, we recommend at least getting your well tested annually for nitrate and bacteria.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you recommend? Because if someone uses that on a daily basis, it's not really, I don't know if regulated is the best way to say it, but as opposed to city water, you know that's being treated and all of that.
Correct. So the chance of contamination getting into a well, it's a very slow process. So as long as a citizen gets a baseline on their own, every couple of years or so, they can get a reevaluation of that well. But at least annually is recommended for bacteria and nitrate.
So is it okay to use water softener in your well?
It is. You can use water softeners. However, you can't have it hooked up to your on-site sewage system. A lot of wells, or a lot of people that are on private drinking water wells are also on private septic systems. So that discharge should not be going to your septic system. That way it doesn't overload that drain field.
Okay. So what happens if there's a problem with my well, such as no water, discoloration, bad taste? What should I do?
Discoloration, taste, and smell usually aren't public health hazards, but it is important to make sure that it isn't a public health hazard and no contaminants have entered that well. So they need to reach out to a licensed well driller for further guidance on that. And then we'll work with the well drillers to determine if there's anything that needs to be done.
So where can someone get more information?
They can visit the website. The Virginia Department of Health has a website under environmental health. Chesapeake Health Department also has a website. And they can always give us a phone call. We're more than happy to answer questions.
Great. Well, I appreciate the information. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, that does it for this edition of A Closer Look, and we'll see you next time.